Hello everyone. Welcome to the talk on HR analytics. I'd like to thank Professor Shweta Jha for this opportunity. I hope you find this session informative and fun. First, a little bit about me. My name is Priya Sundaraman. I'm a principal data scientist in the insurance industry in the US. I have an undergraduate degree in computer science from College of Engineering, Anna University, and a master's in predictive analytics from Northwestern University. I have 20 years of work experience, and the last 8 years have been focused on data science and analytics. The topic for discussion today is HR analytics, also commonly known as talent analytics or people analytics. So I will be using these terms interchangeably. Big data and analytics have been around for a long time, but only recently have we learned how to use all this data and extract information in meaningful ways to generate favorable business outcomes. If you go back in time, about 20 years ago, analytics was used to answer the question, what happened? We used basic summarization methods like counts and averages. We plotted pie charts and bar graphs to understand what happened. This was used merely for reporting purposes. Following that, analytics was used to answer the question, why did it happen? This was made possible by using statistical methods like correlation, A/B testing, etc. to understand the relationship between the known factors and the unknown. Fast forward a few more years, analytics evolved to answer what will happen and when. This was the beginning of predictive analytics. Today we speak of prescriptive analytics. Now that we know what will happen and when, what should we do about it? The reason big data, data science, and analytics has gained popularity recently is because of the abundance of data in various formats: text, numbers, images, voice, you name it. This data comes from a variety of sources, and we have the ability to save all this data due to lower storage costs. The big data analytics industry was $130 billion globally in 2016 and is estimated to be $200 billion by the year 2020. Almost every industry, from retail to healthcare, is immersing itself in analytics. The question is, does HR have a piece of the pie? Human resources is a late bloomer but has made significant progress in the last couple of years. The Deloitte Global Human Capital Trends paper suggested that 2016 has seen a real leap in terms of analytics capability and interest. 77% of the respondents believed that people analytics was important. Similarly, IBM has confirmed the adoption of people analytics by organizations across the globe. What you see on the slide is data from Forbes research that shows about 18% of the 480 companies researched have analytics of some sort, and the remaining 82% are still behind, dealing with data management and reporting issues. You can also notice the stages of maturity of HR analytics as defined by Corporate Executive Board research. Companies that are at level 1 or 2 are trying to answer the question, what will happen and what can we do about it? In other words, predictive analytics. Companies at level 3 or 4 are lower in analytics maturity and are trying to answer the question, what happened and why? This is approximately 14% of the companies. Companies at level 5 are using data for reporting purposes alone with little or no actionable insight. This is still a majority of the companies, unfortunately. But this trend is changing rapidly as we move more and more companies are realizing the value of analytics and getting on board. This leads us to the question, why is people analytics becoming so popular? Is it worth spending the time and resources in this endeavor? First of all, people are the most valuable asset for any company. Hence, there is tremendous power for CEOs and managers in understanding what's actually happening within a company, that is, with their people. There are several other advantages with using analytics. Using analytics means learning from other companies in your industry. In domains like retail, healthcare, etc., we combine large sets of anonymous data to predict an individual's behavior. For example, who is likely to visit the ER? What is this consumer likely to buy? We can use a similar approach for HR. Analytics also helps save time and paves the way for more valuable HR programs. We will talk about some examples in the later slides. Using data science helps reduce bias associated with human-based decision making. Overall, analytics gives us I'm going to start this paragraph again. Yeah. Okay. I'm ready. Overall, analytics gives an organization the ability to act proactively rather than reactively by using prediction algorithms. Can we prove these benefits exist in the real world? Luckily, we have data to support this. In a recent study conducted by Burson, which is a Deloitte company focused on HR analytics, 14% of the businesses with mature people analytics capability were able to demonstrate a clear link between analytics, cost reduction, and efficiency gains. These companies performed 30% better than their competition. According to another survey, 54% of companies saw improved operational processes with data science and analytics. So, who are these amazing companies? There are about 8% of companies in North America who currently measure themselves as able to optimize their HR analytics function. Let's start with the big names. For HR purposes, Google has developed a model that predicted promotions with 90% accuracy. They are also able to limit to 4 interviews per applicant. JP Morgan is one of the several financial institutions that has algorithms that can survey employee behavior and identify rogue employees before any criminal activity takes place. There are several startups as well that provide analytic solutions for HR. Glint is a platform solution that helps organizations increase employee engagement, develop their people, and improve business results. PeopleEyes is another solution for helping companies identify new talent by using social media information. Phenome People has a suite of machine learning based tools that helps lead potential talent to the company's career site through multiple social media and job search channels. Workday is an example of a company building personalized training recommendations for employees based on a company's needs, the market trends, and employee specifics. These were some examples to showcase companies providing specific analytic services for HR functions. But wait, there's more. Let's look at the typical life cycle of an employee in any company. This includes the several points of interaction a company has with their employee from the first stage of hiring to the last stage when the employee leaves. Believe it or not, analytics can actually help HR personnel at each and every one of these stages. Let's start with hiring. The US Department of Labor estimates the cost of a bad hire can equal 30% of the employee's potential first-year earnings. Additionally, it's becoming increasingly hard to find and attract good candidates for many of the roles that global companies require. Fortunately, data science and analytics can help hire good candidates while ensuring we weed out the bad ones. Here are some challenges we face with hiring. A wrongfully chosen employee costs the company much more than their salary and benefits. Recruitment costs, training expenditures, productivity loss, and negative reviews. So how can we make sure the candidate we are hiring is the best fit for the job at hand? And how can we make sure we are hiring good, long-term employees? Analytics can help answer all the questions here. But let's take the first question as an example. Picture a large global company receiving 100,000 resumes every year. Let's say they make 1,000 hires each year through their manual interview process. Short of going through all the 100,000 resumes to pick the 1,000, what options does this company have? The answer is analytics. The same algorithms that are helping us decide our next purchase on Amazon could help our company select the best talent from the candidates pool. Let's say we have some resumes for a job opening for a software engineer. We have the resumes of the current employees in the company. These are resumes for different job roles like software developers, sales personnel, data scientists, etc. We can use machine learning to extract the top 50 important words in all the resumes of the current employees and group the employees based on the talent. We use that information to match against the new applicant's resume. Based on the similarity of the words in the resumes of the new applicant, we can either filter out or shortlist the resume for a particular job role. In this example, since candidate A had similar skill set to that of software developers and data scientists, we see that candidate A is a much better match than candidate B. Such an algorithm is called collaborative filtering, and a lot of recommendation engines use this methodology. A software that utilizes machine learning is the only kind of entity that can hope to analyze this kind of data and find the patterns. A human HR professional or traditional coded HR software could never do something like this, where there are so many variables involved. This kind of advanced analysis and pattern recognition can greatly increase the success rates of hiring decisions. For now, it's safe to assume that these algorithms will be used for screening purposes alone. Interviews, tests, and personal interaction are still the primary recruiting tools, but analytics will ensure that less promising candidates do not get an invitation, thus saving the company time and money. Now that we've identified the right candidates, how do we make them an offer that they cannot refuse? For determining the ideal salary, statistical analysis can be used to study the norm in the industry and help us provide a competitive offer to the candidate. Can we provide personalized perks? Based on the additional information we gather on the candidates from social media, extracurricular activities, etc., we can tailor the perks based on the candidate's personality. We can also use analytics to provide certain wellness packages that help employees track their health, provide free on-site yearly health checkups, and other things. Finally, for customer service, maybe instead of real HR personnel, we can have a chatbot that provides real-time answers to some basic HR questions like how many days off do we have for the share. Chatbots can also be used to proactively remind employees about an event like free personal seminar on finance at 3 p.m. today. With such a seemingly attractive benefits package, hopefully the only question from the candidate would be, when should I start? One of the first challenges after hiring an employee is to get the new employee accustomed to the company and job-specific details. Predictive analytics allows you to more effectively target and address training and onboarding needs. Data science can be used to quickly identify gaps between the job requirements and the employee's current experience and potential. Using this information, the training can be tailored to address the gaps alone, saving time and effort on the onboarding process. On the other hand, analytics has the ability to examine ongoing employee training and determine the right training courses based on the employee's career path. We can also save money on training by having online video courses with interactive intelligence built in, like polling a question every few minutes to make sure the trainee is paying attention. With the right tools, this can provide a decent quality training at a lower cost to the company. Okay, you have identified the right candidate, provided an attractive compensation and benefits package, completed onboarding and training in a quick and efficient manner. Now what? Once an employee has been with the company for a while, if they are not engaged with the company or the job, they quickly lose interest and start looking out again. In order to preempt that situation, analytics can help identify who is engaged and who is not. This can be tracked by a combination of features like employee emails, interaction at meetings, number of days and times they take off, and other variables. What are the characteristics or events that lead to employee disengagement? Is there a pattern that we see within a department or a section of the company? If yes, can we proactively identify those? We can circumvent the problem by addressing those issues ahead of time. A lot of companies like Google and Amazon provide lateral moves so that employees can try out different job roles that they qualify for within the same company. Maybe we can provide personalized suggestions to improve employee dialogue, like showcasing and presentation opportunities or lunch and learn sessions. Performance of employees and engagement are somewhat interrelated. An engaged employee is more involved and interested in the job role, and that eventually leads to better performance. The advantages that come with better performance, like promotions, engage the employee furthermore, and the cycle goes on. So, how do we kickstart this process? By making sure we have the right goals set for all our employees. The goals have to be tailored to their natural talents and interests. For example, using data science and analytics, we can identify candidates most likely to succeed as a manager. It might not always be who you think it is. Once the goals are set, analytics can be used to recommend a choice of paths to get to the goal based on other similar successful employees in the company. We can also provide motivation like personalized training when there are roadblocks or rewards for achieving certain milestones. When it comes to promotions, how do we know we are picking the right candidate? How much raise should we offer them? Statistics can provide some good benchmarks to get started with this. Additionally, data science can inform companies if they are giving a good deal or not to their employees. By monitoring the usage of these benefits provided and the effects they have, companies can make better decisions about their benefits and perks. Sometimes we can use analytics to predict performance of an entire department. Perhaps we can use forecasting methods to identify which departments will grow quickly and plan for their growth accordingly. Attrition is the last stage of the life cycle, but certainly not the least. Understanding people and why they decide to stay or leave a company is arguably one of the most important questions for HR to answer. 57% of organizations view employee retention as a problem. Keeping skilled employees is a long-term goal, but avoiding toxic ones should also be on the list. Who is going to leave and when are they going to leave? Companies like Walmart and Credit Suisse already have algorithms that identify potential churn based on employee activity, job performance, and engagement. Once identified, such an employee may be retained with a raise or some other benefit. Even with a preliminary model like this, these companies were able to increase retention up to 20%. Similarly, there may be times when we need to cut our losses too. Using analytics, we may be able to identify the right employees to let go, or perhaps forecast a department-wide layoff and plan a smooth transition proactively. Let's take the example of the first challenge mentioned on this slide. How can analytics help identify who is more likely to leave your organization? Imagine a major corporation has 10,000 employees. We pick a random 1,000 employees where 500 of those left the company and the other 500 are long-timers. We assume that this large corporation keeps all the data surrounding their 10,000 employees. They keep track of when they were hired, their resume, the departments they worked at, their managers, engagement in the company, past performance, demographics, and other variables. We can feed all this data into a software that uses machine learning and train a model based on the people that left and the people that stayed with the company. The software learns from the data and identifies hidden patterns. For example, The software may discover that a certain manager causes more attrition, or a certain department is better at retaining talent than other departments. It's possible that people who use certain type of social media, engage in certain activities, or have kids turn out to be longer-term employees. The possibilities are endless, especially when you account for all the combinations of individual factors and patterns. Once these features are learned, this software is able to predict if an employee will leave or stay. This kind of algorithm is called a classification model. There are many software packages in the industry that can help with classification problems like this. It should be pointed out, however, that some of the patterns and tendencies will turn out to be false positives, which means the model will identify that someone will leave when in fact they may not. In such a case, a human will need to have the final decision when all is said and done. Even though analytics can tremendously help with several HR functions, we have to be aware of some of the challenges that exist around the topics of privacy, biases, and data, and take the necessary measures. Privacy is an important concern when big data is the subject. People are already nervous about how their employers might be using their data, so companies should be transparent about how AI will be used and emphasize the personal benefits. People also have anxiety about machines replacing human jobs. Management should take the steps to ensure that analytics exists not to simply replace HR workers, but rather it can be used as a way to free them up to do more and better work, such as solving problems that software can't solve. In addition, human oversight of data science tools is important to catch errors and put recommendations in context. Although there are no legal statements against using big data for HR functionality, ethical concerns should be a consideration. One example is stereotyping and unfair treatment of an individual outlier based on general performance of a group. Such cases must be caught during human oversight to avoid legal issues. Guarding against biases is another challenge. Analytics algorithms are trained by humans and are not perfect. These algorithms learn over time. Sometimes the algorithm may be unintentionally biased against a particular demographic. In order to fix this issue, it is important to have a human check the prediction for biases before using the result. Data is the key component for analytics, and we need to have clean, complete, and accurate data to create predictive models. If the data is bad, our models will be bad, leading to inaccurate predictions. As you must have heard, garbage in, garbage out. Hence, companies need to spend time and resources to consolidate their employee data before investing in analytics. The key determinant of company performance is its people. All other things being the same, the company with better and more engaged employees will perform better than another with worse and less engaged employees. Examples abound. Companies that consistently outperform their peers like Amazon and Google have better and more engaged employees than competition. It is no surprise then that this performance is by design. These companies invest heavily in data-driven, analytics-heavy approach to excel in each phase of the employee life cycle. In this information age, we are witnessing an intense global war for talent. This war will be won by organizations that leverage analytics to maximize their HR investments. With that, I'd like to thank you for your time and wish you good luck with your management careers.